Once upon a time, in a small town nestled in the mountains, there was a legend that sent shivers down the spines of its residents. It was the legend of Momo, a grotesque and terrifying creature that haunted the darkest corners of people's imaginations. Momo was said to have a woman's body with long, unkempt hair that covered her face, concealing her horrifying features. Her eyes were rumored to glow with an otherworldly light, and her mouth stretched unnaturally wide, filled with rows of sharp, jagged teeth. Legend had it that Momo's origins were rooted in a cursed sculpture that had somehow come to life. The townsfolk whispered stories about Momo's eerie presence and the unspeakable things she would do to those who crossed her path. They claimed she had a penchant for targeting children, using her hauntingly persuasive voice to lure them into her clutches. One moonlit night, a young boy named Ethan, curious and bold, decided to investigate the legend of Momo. He had heard the tales and wanted to prove to his friends that it was all just a hoax. Armed with a flashlight and his courage, he ventured into the forest where Momo was rumored to reside. As Ethan ventured deeper into the woods, the atmosphere grew heavy with a sense of foreboding. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the rustling leaves sent shivers down his spine. He pressed on, determined to confront the legendary Momo and put an end to the fear that gripped his town. Suddenly, Ethan's flashlight flickered and died, leaving him in complete darkness. He stumbled forward, his heart racing, as the sounds of his own footsteps echoed through the stillness. A faint whisper reached his ears, growing louder with each passing second. "Momo!" A voice called out, filled with a chilling blend of sweetness and malice. Ethan froze in terror, his breath catching in his throat. He strained his eyes in the darkness, trying to make out any shapes or movements, but all he could see were the silhouette of the trees, their branches twisting like gnarled claws against the night sky. "Moo moo!" The voice called again, closer this time. Summoning his courage, Ethan took a step backward, intending to flee. But before he could escape, a pale, ghostly figure emerged from the shadows. It was Momo, her grotesque form illuminated by the moonlight. Her hollow eyes seemed to pierce Ethan's soul, paralyzing him with fear. Momo hissed, her voice laced with a deadly charm. Ethan's mind filled with images of the terrible fates that had befallen those who had encountered Momo. He knew he had to escape her clutches, but his body refused to move. Just as Momo extended her claw-like hand towards him, a distant sound broke the silence. It was the distant barking of a dog, growing louder and more insistent. Startled, Momo hesitated for a moment, allowing Ethan to find his voice and break free from her icy grip. With every ounce of strength he had left, Ethan turned and ran, his heart pounding in his ears. He sprinted through the dense forest, guided by the barking of the dog. As he emerged from the darkness of the woods, he saw the familiar lights of his town in the distance. Breathless and shaken, Ethan collapsed to his knees, grateful to have escaped the clutches of Momo. From that day forward, he vowed never to venture into the forbidden depths of the forest again, for the legend of Momo had become a chilling reality he would never forget.